In this series, we'll be building a fictional company's AWS infrastructure, designing a security program on top of it, and automating the compliance reporting using the NIST 853 framework. My name's Matt, and I'm putting together this series because technical skills aren't optional in GRC. You need to understand what you're protecting, and the best way to do that is to build a system, secure it, and prove your controls work. Every video in this series is going to follow the same fictional company, Shoreline Solutions. Now let me give you some background on who they are. Shoreline is a freight and logistics company operating in the Pacific Coast. Most of their business runs on AWS. Customers use a web portal to track their shipments. Shoreline has a back-end system managing the logistics, and they also have a database that's storing customer contracts, shipment records, and billing information. But here's where things get a bit messy. See, Shoreline's security program doesn't exist. They have no compliance controls, no documentation, nothing. And now customers are starting to ask, hey, we want to do business with you guys. Can you fill out a security questionnaire? Or do you have a SOC 2 report to prove the controls that are in place? And Shoreline can't answer any of these questions. And that's costing them an extensive amount of deals and business opportunities. Here's where we as GRC engineers come in. We'll be building that security program using NIST as our framework. And what's that actually mean? I'm going to break it down into 3 different areas. First is cloud security controls. We'll be setting up the AWS tools that detect threats and monitor compliance. Second is the compliance automation. And this is where things get awesome, because when something gets detected, the system will automatically log it and store the evidence, completely removing the manual work. Third is the business impact. You see, we're building audible controls that Shoreline can prove work. And this is what turns security from a blocker to a business enabler. Now let's dive into the infrastructure and look at that at a high level. Let's say a customer wants to check on their shipment. So they'll pull up Shoreline's website. That request directly goes to the internet and will immediately come into AWS. The first stop it will make is the load balancer. You can think of that like a traffic cop because it makes no single server get overwhelmed. Next is the web server, and this is what shows you the actual website. And behind that is the application server. This is the brain. It's running all the calculations, processing the requests, figuring out where shipments are and when they'll arrive. And at the bottom is the database. This is where everything lives. Think of customer accounts, shipment records, billing information, and if something happens to this, the business is in serious trouble. Now here's the thing, this works great for the business right now, but from a security perspective, there's no monitoring, no threat detection, no audit trail, nothing. And that's what we're gonna be building on top of the infrastructure. Now this isn't every service we'll be using, so you don't need to understand every piece of this yet, but what I do want you to take away is the bigger picture. So starting on the left, data flows in from multiple sources. These are VPC flow logs for network visibility, CloudTrail for tracking every action on the account, and config rules for checking resource configurations, an inspector for scanning vulnerabilities. And these will all get analyzed in the middle. So GuardDuty is going to be reading those logs and finding threats, while Security Hub is going to be tracking our compliance against the NIST framework. Automation and response. This is where it all comes together. So when something gets detected, it will automatically trigger an action, and evidence will be collected, and alert will be sent out. This is going to be removing all the manual effort and bringing all the pieces together. You see, what I want you to understand is every piece connects, from data in, detection in the middle, and automation out. So by the end of this series, you'll know exactly how each one of these works and why it's there. And that wraps up the series introduction. In the next video, we'll be diving into the infrastructure lab and building out the AWS environment. I'll drop my GitHub repo in the description along with my LinkedIn, so feel free to hit me up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.